All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Easy Money, a sports betting show, Wednesday, September 14th, 2022. Got quite a few games. What the hell? We got quite a few games to talk about. Got a decent slate of games in Major League Baseball. Then we'll take a look at ahead to the NFL, at some of the lines in the NFL. Got a few games going on right now in baseball, as you have the Angels and the Guardians are tied 3-3 in the seventh inning. Uh, Houston Astros are up 2-0 over the Detroit Tigers in the seventh inning. Colorado Rockies are at the Chicago White Sox. The Rockies are up 2-0 in the fourth inning in that game. That's all the games that are on right now.
Reds are playing.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I wonder why the Reds score ain't up.
Reds were losing 6-3. Pretty sure that's what it said.
For some reason, not giving me the Red score up here. Maybe could that game already have ended? Maybe.
I don't think so.
Usually they show the. Here, let me see. Why? Yeah. Well, there it is. Now it's showing me the Reds. Yeah, Reds are down 9-3.
9-3 now.
9-3 in the top of the ninth to the Pittsburgh Pirates. I don't know why it wasn't showing me that game on there. So we got a lot to look at. Also, I'm joined by my dad, Tony Gonzalez, today. How you doing?
Doing pretty good. Doing pretty good.
All right. I figured we'll talk a little bit about the baseball. Got a few games I'm looking forward to. I like the Seattle against San Diego Padres. The Mariners have Luis Castillo. I wasn't looking for tickets. But the Mariners have Luis Castillo on the mound tonight. He's been hot. He's been pitching pretty hot all year. He's pitching good for the Reds. And then for some reason, the Reds decided they want to get rid of him.
I know he's not a Cy Young contender, but he's been a pretty strong pitcher all year long.
Both these teams have some similar records. The Padres are 78-64. Mariners are 79-62. So they're right there about the same record. On the mound tonight for the Padres, you have Clevenger, 5-6 record, 4.13 ERA. Like I said, for the Mariners, you have Castillo, he has a 6-5 record. But some of that record is when he was in Cincinnati, where he'd only give up maybe 1-2 runs, and still the bullpen would find a way to blow the game at the end. He has a 2.81 ERA, and he has 141 strikeouts and 128 innings pitched. So I mean, that's pretty impressive there. So I like that game. I like the Mariners money line in that game. I think the Mariners pulled that out just because they have the better pitcher on the mound.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah. What Castillo? What do you think? I think he would. He's almost a number one on probably most teams.
Oh yeah, he's one of the better pitchers in the league.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't think he gets the respect he deserves, to be honest.
Well, the team he's been on, but you don't get the wins. Yeah. I mean, you have the numbers, but you don't get the wins.
Unfortunately, being in Cincinnati, that's how it was going. He would put up good numbers, but
You think he stays with the Mariners?
I think so. I think he'll stay with the Mariners because I think Mariners are on the verge of making the playoffs for the first time in like 21 years, and I think they'll keep him because I think he'll want to stay there because they're going to feel like they're even going to be better next year. Another game I like that's interesting to me is the Tampa Bay Rays at the Toronto Blue Jays. These are two teams that have been battling it out. Toronto has an 80-62 record. They're 40-30 at home. The Rays are 79-62, and they're 32-38 on the road. So the Rays haven't been great on the road. But I like the Rays in this because of the pitching matchup. The Rays have Rasmussen on the mound. He has a 10-4 record on the season with a 2.57 ERA. And then you have Stripling on the mound for Blue Jays. He has a 7-4 record with a 3.03 ERA. I favor the Rays just because I think Rasmussen is a little bit better pitcher. But these games are usually real close. But I'm going to go with the Rays on the money line.
If I remember right, wasn't the Blue Jays trying to get Castillo?
Yeah.
Do you think that would have made a big difference for them?
I do because that's where they've been hurting is their starting pitching. They have a couple starters that have been pitching good, and other than that, they really ain't getting up now the rest of the rotation. So yeah, they were kind of like the Cardinals to me, a team that needed a starting pitcher at the trade deadline. Cardinals went and got that Montgomery, and look what that's done for them. I think if the Blue Jays could have went and got them a starting pitcher, Well, even the Yankees wanted to they traded Montgomery, which I don't understand because Montas has not been near as good as Montgomery has the second half of the season. I don't
Not even
understand. So I
close.
didn't understand them trading Montgomery to begin with. Speaking of the Yankees, that's actually the next game. Next game I like is the Yankees and the Red Sox. Yankees have started playing good again. Uh, Aaron Judge is on the verge of passing Roger Maris for some people consider as the home run record. 'Cause some people don't acknowledge Barry Bonds and Barry Bonds passed it. Uh, but Judge hit his 56th and 57th home run last night. Yeah, no, I wrote it down. Yeah, his 56th and 57th home run last night. So he's real close to passing 61. I think he's going to get it. I don't think he's going to get, what was it, 73, 72 or 73 is what Bonds had.
He'd have to really go crazy.
I don't think he's going to catch that. But like I said, a lot of people don't recognize Bonds. They recognize Maris as the home run king. I mean, that's here and there. I think Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. And I think I think the record should count just because baseball knew it was going on and didn't do nothing about it. They liked it because it was helping baseball. So to me, since they didn't do nothing about it, it's hard to go back and punish these guys.
I agree.
When you knew it was going on and you let it go on because it was helping you.
Yeah, they encouraged it. I'm sorry, they needed it, and so they were all for it.
What don't get brought up is the other drugs that was being done. People want to talk about steroids. I've read things and heard things where in the clubhouses they'd have coffee. They would have like whatever you call it, methamphetamine or whatever in the coffee that they'd be marked one regular and one would be decaf. And the one was marked decaf, one that had the kind of like speed in it or whatever. And the whole, you know what I mean? So,
but the other thing,
everybody knew about it.
The other thing they forget about too, not only was Bonds and McGuire and them guys taking that stuff, the pitchers was doing it too. So that changed the game also. So,
yeah. So to me, if you want to put an asterisk by it or whatever, you can. But I acknowledge it because baseball knew it was going on. Yep. So I think it's bullcrap that they're keeping these guys out in the Hall of Fame because you can't tell the history of baseball without these guys in. I mean, Bonds was a Hall of Famer before he ever started using steroids. Yeah. I mean, he was hitting 3-something, had like 30, he'd have like 30 stolen bases. I mean, it wasn't like he took steroids, then he got good. He was already a great player.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But did it help him? Yeah. But just think how many home runs he could have had if they'd have pitched to him.
Oh yeah.
That's why I was trying to ask Jay and him earlier. How many home runs do you think he had? He hit 70-something. He might have been in the 90s that year.
I think
maybe even 100.
I think it'd been 100 or more.
Because they didn't pitch him like they're pitching the Judge. No. It surprised me that they're pitching the Judge. That's one reason I didn't think he would get it, because I figured teams would stop pitching to him. But they're keep pitching to him. But in this game, the Yankees, Red Sox have been struggling this year. They're 69 and 73. Of course, the Yankees have been one of the better teams all year. Did go through a slump there. But they have Cortez on the mound tonight, who's 9-4 with a 2.73 ERA. And for the Red Sox, they have Bello. He's 1-5 with a 5.79 ERA. So Yankees have the advantage of pitching. They have the advantage on the offensive side as well. I just don't see the Red Sox being able to do much tonight. Yankees beat the Red Sox last night. Yankees was pounding the ball.
I think, I know some people feel like, the Yankees fell off. They're not going to do any good. I think they're still going to be very dangerous in the playoffs. Anybody that thinks they're not, littling themselves. I mean, a lot of it with the playoffs is going to be about matchups, who you play. But, I mean, if you get hot, you get hot.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yankees have won 3 in a row. They beat the Red Sox last night. They ended up going 10 innings. I didn't realize the Red Sox came back and tied that game up. The Yankees ended up winning 7-6 because Yankees was pounding the ball. Judge had 2 home runs. They must have came back there toward the end. But the Yankees have won 3 in a row. The Red Sox are 2-3 over their last 5. And the Yankees are the better team. And I agree with you. The Yankees are going to be dangerous in the playoffs. You can't. A lot of people wanted to bury them and give up on them because they went through a bad stretch. All teams go through a stretch where they struggle.
Yeah, and like I said, a lot of it is if you get hot. The bottom line, if you can make the playoffs and get in there, you could be dangerous because you can get hot at the right time. It's happened before. Happened last year. I mean,
Happened last year with the Braves, happened a few years ago with the Washington Nationals. Now, they were the worst team in baseball at the All-Star break
Yeah.
and ended up winning the World Series.
happens a lot that not necessarily the best team, wins the
I mean, like
championship.
last year, nobody thought the Braves would go win the World
No,
Series.
no.
Everybody thought the Braves season was going to go downhill at the All-Star break there when they lost to
Yep.
Kuna. Everybody thought it was going to go downhill. They came back after All-Star break and just got hot, became a different team.
Yep.
And they had the momentum going into the playoffs. Other game in baseball I like is the Cardinals. They play the Brewers at home. Brewers are 76-66. Cardinals are 83-59. These two teams were battling for the Central Division. Cardinals have kind of took a little bit of control there now. But I have a rule: I don't bet against Wainwright because he always burns me. He's on the mound tonight. But Milwaukee has a good pitcher on the mound tonight too with Burns. Burns is 10-6 on the season with a 2.93 ERA. Wainwright's 10-9 on the season with a 3.33 ERA. Burns has a little bit better ERA, but at home they're in St. Louis in a division game that I mean, if you can win this series against the Brewers, pretty much going to win the division. It's going to almost put the Brewers out of reach if you can sweep them in this 3-game series.
Yeah.
So at home, I'm going with the Wainwright being on the mound.
Yeah, I like the Cardinals in that too.
Like I said, even Burns is a good pitcher, but the Brewers have been inconsistent.
Let me ask you a question real quick. Something popped in my mind. Why is it so different now that you don't see that many 20-game winners, 17, 18, 19? Now, I mean, 13 or 14 is considered a high number. Why such a difference now?
I think it's because the pitchers don't go as deep into games anymore. As soon as they face that lineup for the third time, managers because the analytics managers are ready to pull them. So you're getting a lot of guys that get pulled in the 5th or 6th inning, and you have to pitch at least 6 to qualify.
I think it's 5.5.
It might be 5.5. So some of them get pulled too early. I think that's the big thing why you don't get all the wins.
Well,
and you pull these guys, they can have a lead, and then bullpen blow it.
One run, and then they.
You don't see pitchers going 7, 8 innings like you used
Because
to.
when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, man, there were a lot of pitchers that would have 20, 23, 24 wins. I mean, not just one pitcher. We had a lot. Now, if you have one pitcher do that, it's considered.
Yeah, and that's why I think it is they take them out earlier, so that's more innings the bullpen has to pitch, which is more of a chance for them to blow it. And they don't let these guys go much more than 6 innings a lot of times.
But it don't make any sense because I mean, how many quality pitchers are out there? So now you're using more and more pitchers. So definitely you would think the level would go down. So why not keep your best pitchers in there?
I've never understood it, but because of analytics, when they're facing that lineup for the third time,
I don't understand it.
and you see it with the Reds a lot. As soon as it gets to the third time, that leadoff batter's batting, that pitcher's usually out. And then what happens? We got killed yesterday, getting killed today we got swept by the Pirates in a doubleheader yesterday. Now they're kicking our ass again today. It's hard to watch. Actually, I usually watch every Reds game. The last couple of weeks, I watched some yesterday for a little bit. I haven't been watching as much. It's just hard to watch.
To get rid of everybody. I mean, that's what's going to happen.
And if you see, like yesterday when I was watching that game, there weren't hardly nobody. There weren't very many fans there in Cincinnati.
Why should it be? I mean, you're not making an effort to win. That's all the fans want. Make an effort to win, be competitive. I mean, not only one team can win the World Series every year, so everybody understands that. But we want to be competitive and have a chance to be in the hunt. Late August, September, and what they win this year so far? 57 games, 55 games,
something like that.
I mean, it gets frustrating.
Oh, it gets real frustrating. You get tired of hearing, well, we got a bunch of these prospects. We got these prospects. Well, if you have these great prospects, eventually it should turn into a good team, but we don't give it time to.
But
once a prospect starts doing good, we get rid of them.
Yeah, because they don't want to pay them. What's the point? I mean, you had everybody talked about how good Castillo was going to be. He comes up, he's good. Let's get rid of him.
Well, I mean, they've done it with everybody. Chap They got rid of Chapman quick. They got rid of because he was going to get paid.
Another reliever.
Yeah,
Just got rid of
Glacius,
Glacius
our
and-
closer.
Well,
Sonny Gray.
Well, yeah, I mean, and the other the couple guys the guy made an All-Star team last year or a couple years ago. One they traded for. Was going to get paid, but then the other one came up through the system. They got rid of him.
Winker.
They got rid of him.
Castellanos, Suarez.
Yeah.
Which when they got rid of Suarez, I wasn't that disappointed. But now Suarez is hitting the ball again like he used to with the Reds.
Yeah.
He went on a couple years slump with the Reds. So I was like, okay, they're probably going to get rid of him. I hate to say it, but to me, you should have kept if you could. You should try to keep Castellanos, but if you couldn't, you should have kept Winker and them guys. And I hate to say it, but you should have kept them guys ahead of Votto just because Votto's getting older. It's almost time to
keep Mustafa. He hasn't done nothing.
Yeah,
hasn't done anything.
I didn't understand keeping him because he hadn't done nothing since he's been a Red. He's been hurt more than he's played. But let's talk a little. Let's look at these NFL. Look at these NFL odds for this for the week. I'll give out my pick for tomorrow's game on tomorrow's show. But for tomorrow's game, you have the Los Angeles Chargers at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are 4.5-point favorites at home, minus 210 on the money line. The Chargers are plus 176 on the money line. Over under for this game's at 54.5. I think this game's going to be a shootout. I'd take the over the 54.5. I do. I think both teams are going to have over 28 points. I think the Chargers have a good shot of winning this game because of their defense. I really think the Chargers' defense has improved a lot. They were already pretty good, but adding Khalil Mack and then adding that J.C. Jackson, man,
this will be a good test for them. I know they played pretty well this last game.
I think this is going to be a fun game because you have the explosive offense of the Chiefs.
If I remember right, they played the Raiders, right?
Yep.
They had the Raiders down. They let the Raiders back in it, so that concerns me a little bit. Even though they were dominant on defense at certain points, they let the Raiders back in it, and I don't know if the Raiders. I think they got a lot of good pieces, but I don't think they've come together completely. Compared,
Derek Carr didn't play a very good game.
Especially compared to Kansas City. I know they're missing some people, but they play pretty. I mean, they got rid of a guy, Hill, but I don't know.
But how good is Arizona too?
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, because Arizona's missing Hopkins. I mean, so they're missing some guys too. But no, I think the Chiefs are going to be good. It's going to be, it's going to be able good test for the Chiefs' defense. See how their defense is now because I think their defense is not as good as it was last year. They lost players, important players, and really didn't replace them. And I think we'll find that out if their defense is going to be able to hold up. Because Herbert, I'll tell you what, he's on his way to being one of the best quarterbacks in the league as well. You got Mahomes, who's right up there. I mean, this is a great matchup.
Let me ask you a question. Who do you think Kansas City best receiver is?
Probably Kelsey.
Okay,
it's tight end.
Then why don't you put your best defensive player on? Put a linebacker on him, and put your best person on because that's going to be the best receiver on the team now.
Only thing is, a lot of your cornerbacks are so small.
True.
And Kelsey, so he's a big dude. That's the only thing. But
but linebacker can't do it.
No.
I mean, look how he just runs away from everybody. Double team him.
Everybody thought that a lot of people thought that Hill was going or getting rid of Hill was going to hurt him. I didn't think it would. Tyreek Hill is a good player. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but he is good at running straight line, and then he's good at when the play breaks down and a quarterback's he's good at getting open. He's not with a quarterback like that no more in Miami. That's the other reason why I think it didn't affect the Chiefs as much because they still have guys that have speed. And they brought in that Schuster, who I don't think is bad. I don't know if he's a number one. I don't think he's bad, but you don't have to be a number one when you have Kelsey there as well.
So double team Kelsey and make the other receivers beat you. That's what I would do. I mean,
but I'll tell you what, I like the Chargers. Like I said, I'll give out my official pick tomorrow, but at plus 4.5, I like the Chargers. You're getting 4.5 points. I know they're on the road. I like the Chargers, and I like the over the 54.5 because, like I said, I can see both teams being in the 30s. I think it's going to be one of them Thursday night shootouts. I'm looking forward to the game, though. It's going to be a fun game. Then on Sunday, kicking it off, you got the Washington Commanders at the Detroit Lions. The Lions are actually favorites. I think, if I remember right, what did Jay say for the first time in since 2006 or 7 or something like that, they're a favorite in the game. It's been a long time. Jay was talking about on the last show. But the Lions are actually 1.5 point favorites, minus 126 on the money line. Commanders are plus 108 on the money line. Over under at 48.5. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of surprised that the Lions are favored. I know they're at home. Uh, I like this Washington team. I think this Washington team is going to win the NFC East. I really do. I know Wentz threw 2 picks the other day, but he made some good throws as well. And I think as the season goes on, he'll get a little more comfortable. Uh, yeah, I like Washington in this
I
game
think
as
so too.
as home underdog or as road dogs.
I think so too because don't get me wrong. I like what Detroit's doing. I think they're getting better. But and same thing with what I think the Commanders are better than they were last year. But especially Detroit, they got to change their culture and got to learn how to win. I mean, they'll get ahead in games and blow games. Washington's done that recently too. So both of them have got a. I think Washington's got a little bit more experienced personnel than Detroit does right now. So I'm gonna give Washington an edge too. I think I'd go with them, especially since you're getting points.
Yeah, you get a point and a half, but still, or you can go straight up at plus 108.
But I think that game will probably be decided by a field goal.
Yeah, I think it'll be a close game. I like what Campbell's doing over there with that team with the Lions. It seems like the players have really bought into his system and they play hard for him.
Well, they play hard.
So you can see them getting better. I just think they're maybe a year away from being a little bit more competitive. Then you have the Jets at the Browns. I don't expect this to be a good game. The Jets. I don't know if Zach Wilson. I don't think no Zach Wilson's not going to be back again, so they're going to be starting Flacco again. I saw that come across TV earlier. Cleveland Browns are 5.5 point favorites and minus 250 on the money line at home. The Jets are plus 205. I like this. I like the Browns in this game, but I don't know if I would give up 5.5 points just because it's hard to trust the Browns offense because you don't know what exactly you're going to get out of Brissett.
Yeah.
Now, if they can run the ball with Chubb and Hunt like they did last week, the Browns will be a competitive team to have a decent defense. But are you going to be able to run the ball like that all the time?
Yeah.
On the Jets, they probably will. 5.5 points is a little more than I want to give up, but I favor the Browns in this game. And the next game, and I think this is going to be a real good game. I think people are overlooking them is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers out the New Orleans Saints. I really think people are overlooking the Saints in this game. I know everybody loves Tom Brady and everything, but
Saints play Tampa tough.
yeah, Buccaneers are 2.5 point favorites on the road, minus 152 on the money line. The Saints are plus 128 on the money line. Over under 44.5. I like the Saints. I like the Saints here as home dogs. It's tough to go into New Orleans and beat New Orleans. Jameis Winston has been playing solid at quarterback.
The only thing that concerns me is they can't get off to a slow start
No.
like they did last week against
Yeah.
Atlanta. You can't
You can't
rely
do
on
that.
If they do that at Tampa Bay, they're going to be in trouble.
They got to stop the run. They got to stop the run against Tampa
Well,
Bay.
yeah.
Because they're going to try to get Leonard Fournette going. With their offensive philosophy is a little bit different with Bowles as a coach than it is with Arians. You can see they're wanting to run the ball and then go. They want to pound the ball on the ground and then go to play action. More like kind of like what New England did. They're basically it's almost like the old New England offense that Brady ran. Let's run the ball, and get somebody open deep.
How good do you think Tampa Bay's defense really is? I mean,
That's what I'm saying.
Was that Dallas struggling at receiver position? But now, of course,
Yeah.
New Orleans got Thomas. If he comes back 90% what he was before he got hurt, he's a fantastic receiver, one of the best in the league. So
New Orleans has a lot of weapons. Yeah, that's the thing with the Tampa Bay defense. It's hard to know how good they really are because how good is the Cowboys' offense? I mean, you can say, "Oh, yeah, Dak got hurt," but Dak wasn't doing nothing. Dak wasn't having much success
now, did that running
in that
back,
game before.
Did that running back ever?
I think he's playing, as far as I know. As far as I know, Kamara's playing. So I like the Saints, man. You get the Saints. I think that's good value. Getting the Saints at plus 128, getting them as home dogs. I'd take them on the money line there to win it. Now, the spread would go up to 3, I would take the 3 because the field goal would give you a push. But going at 2.5 really don't do you no good.
Yeah.
Because how many games? Not many games get decided by 2 points. Then you have the Panthers at the Giants. Remember, I'll give out my official picks for each game this weekend, except tomorrow. I'll give out tomorrow night's game. But of course, we're just going through looking at the early lines. But the Panthers and Giants, Giants got a big win first game. They're actually favorites in this game at 1.5 point favorites, minus 126 on the money line.
A long time since the Giants have been favorites.
Yeah.
Too.
Panthers are plus 108 on the money line. Over unders at 43.5. I can see this game being under 43.5. I can see this being a lower scoring game. See what, Saquon Barkley looked good in that first game. If he can stay healthy, man, like I told them guys earlier, we're missing out getting to see. We're kind of getting robbed because he keeps getting injured because the talent he has, man. He looked impressive last weekend. Hopefully he stays healthy. He can stay healthy, and Dable can get Jones just to settle down, not turn the ball over. The Giants can have a decent team because their defense is not bad.
No, I agree.
I look for the Giants to beat the Panthers at home.
Big key for the Giants will be the offensive line. The offensive line can protect Jones, where Jones don't feel like he's got to go all over the place and try to do too much. Like you said, the other big key is Barkley.
I do. I like the Giants against the Panthers. Baker looked good in the second half of that game, but in the first half of that game he was terrible. So I mean, and you can't have that. You get off to a slow start, you're going to have trouble. But it's also come down to the Giants stop McCaffrey from running the ball. But Panthers have to stop Barkley.
That's what I'm worried about a little bit with Carolina. I thought the defense would be a little bit better.
I did too.
They didn't play very good that first game.
Yeah, I thought their defense would be good.
I thought they'd come back and won the game, and then they let them come down and real quick and get a field goal and lose.
I have their defense in fantasy, I've been saying it for a few weeks. I thought they might be a playoff team because of their defense, and then their defense didn't show up. Hopefully, it shows up more this week. Patriots at the Steelers. I think people need to slow down on the Steeler train just a little bit because you guys are forgetting something. Bengals turned the ball over 5 times, and that game still went to overtime.
Actually, Bengals should have won.
Yeah, Bengals should have won that. Bengals should have won that game. And they turned the ball over 5 times. So, how good are the Steelers? Really, are the Steelers? It's hard to tell because the Bengals played so bad with the turnovers. Yeah. And if that many turnovers, hell, you should have won. You should blow out a team. It shouldn't be that close.
Should be by 21 at least.
So that's the only thing I would caution me on the Steelers. And this is kind of surprised me. They have the Patriots as 2.5 point favorites on the road against the Steelers. That surprises me. I thought the Steelers would be favorites at home.
I think a lot of people are prepping a lot of stock in the one player for Pittsburgh being out because he's
TJ Watt being out.
I think that might be a part of it, but I think I'd go with the Steelers.
Yeah, I like the Steelers as home dogs there. I think there's a good value there. The Steelers defense, yeah, you're not going to have Watt, but they're still going to be. I think they're still going to be a solid defense.
And if their coach does a good job of their team,
and if Trubisky just don't make stupid mistakes, and which he really didn't last game, so I like Pittsburgh in that game. I'm surprised the Patriots are a favorite after the way they looked last game against the Dolphins.
Dolphins got good defense.
I can understand if this was at New England being the favorite, but on the road, I like Pittsburgh in this game. What's up, Andre? Thanks for joining us. And then the next game is game we'll be actually doing the live stream for on Sunday, live watch along and reaction like we did last week. We got the Indianapolis Colts at Jacksonville Jaguars. They have the Colts as 4.5 point favorites on the road, minus 200 on the money line. Jacksonville is plus 168 on the money line, over under at 45.5. I'm a Colts fan. I'll tell you, I'm kind of surprised Colts are favorites just because this game's in Jacksonville and the Colts do not. For some reason, we don't play well in Jacksonville. And here lately, we haven't played well against Jacksonville, period. So I'm kind of surprised. I think the Colts have the team to win the game. I really do. I think the Colts are the better team, but I thought the Colts was the better team against the Texans last week, and we tied because of some stupid coaching decisions and some missed kicks.
And I know earlier today I heard Jay talking about the Colts defense. Colts defense, they played bad in the third quarter. They had a bad third quarter.
Try to tell me they were a middle of the road defense. That's what I said. Whoa. No, Colts have a good defense. And we were missing one of our best players.
Turnovers would give them other points.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how they get the points off our
No
turnover.
So yeah, I don't agree with that. We didn't play very well in the third quarter. Come out and they ran a play and did burn us, and I agree with that. The third quarter we played bad, but we come back in the fourth, and I think it was the fourth quarter, held them to 5 yards.
And got a turnover.
Got turnover. So I was dominant in the fourth quarter, played real strong.
And
in the first half.
we're missing maybe the best linebacker in the league.
One of the best, definitely. So and we played pretty solid defense in the first half. So this is the third quarter.
And receivers have to step up. We dropped 2 touchdown passes. And not like difficult catches. I mean, wide open. I mean, they wasn't hard catches at all.
Touchdowns right in their hands.
Yeah, but I mean, there wasn't even a contested catch.
No.
It was just they were bother.
Yeah.
Especially that first one.
Yeah.
The rookie drop. There wasn't nobody in that corner of the end zone. And you saw a lot of rookies drop balls. Green Bay had a rookie drop a 75-yard touchdown. So I mean, we saw some of that, but I like the Colts to win. I like the Colts here to win the game. I don't know. I don't know if I'd go the 4.5 or not, just because of the way they played last week.
Yeah. Have they announced a new kicker yet?
No, not that I've seen. But yeah, the Colts did get rid of released their kicker, Blankenship yesterday, Hot Rod, which that surprised me, the performance he had on Sunday. And what people forget, because people are like, oh, he just missed a couple field goals and they got rid of him. No. It was more than just missing field goals. He kicked 2 kickoffs out of bounds, 2 in a row.
Yeah, pretty much almost back to back.
Yeah, and our defense, and that's the other thing. Our defense made great stands on those drives because they started at the 40.
40, and we stopped them.
I mean,
and that's one thing on the show you was on earlier that I said, Lovie Smith being too conservative, in my opinion. I mean, I like Lovie Smith. I think he cost his team that game by being too conservative. I really do. If they wouldn't have been that conservative, I think they win that game.
And Andre, to answer your question, what's the play for the Chiefs Chargers game tomorrow? I like the Chargers as on the money line at the plus 176, but I like the over the 54.5 because I think both teams are going. I can see both teams being in the 30s. I think this is going to be one of them shootouts. So I like the over the 54.5, and I like the Chargers to win as a road dogs at plus 176. I think you get pretty good value there. Like I said, I think it's going to be a real close game. You could take the 4.5 points. I can see this game maybe being like a field goal game. But the one I really like the over the 54.5 because I think this is going to be a shootout, and I can see both teams being in the 30s.
I like the San Diego in 4.5. I mean, that's pretty good. I think it'll come down.
Yeah, I think it'll come down some too.
I won't be surprised to come down to 3.
Then next game would be the Miami Dolphins at the Baltimore Ravens. Dolphins coming off a win, opening game win. I don't know how long it's been since they've been 1-0. The Ravens got a win too, didn't they? Yeah. Lamar Jackson had a pretty good game. Excuse me. But the Ravens are 3.5-point favorites in this game. They're minus 190 on the money line. Dolphins are plus 160 on the money line. Over under for this game is set at 44.5. I think I would lean toward the over the 44.5 because either one of these defenses to me are real great.
I don't know, man. Miami defense is pretty strong.
Yeah, but
I know
how good is New England?
Yeah, I know New England's offense is not. And offense speed on turnovers a lot. It's going to depend. I mean, I don't know.
I think I like the Ravens here, but I like to get it at 3 instead of 3.5. But it's minus 3.5 right now. If I get it at 3, I'd feel a little bit better about it because you have that chance for a push. But I think the Ravens win the game. But yeah, I think it's going to be a good game. I have to give Tua a little bit of credit. I'm not real sold on Tua, but he played pretty good that first game last week. I just ain't been sold on Tua since he was in college, as much as a lot of these people are. All right. Then we have the Falcons at the Rams. Falcons got off to a big lead last week and then blew it again. They do that a lot. The Rams look tough on basically, or no, Rams got destroyed basically. I meant the Bills looked tough. Yeah, Rams struggled against the Bills. Got dominated basically by the Bills in the opening night. They have the Rams as 10.5-point favorites in this game. To me, that's a lot of points.
Where's the game at?
Game is in LA. That's the only reason I'm not going to take Atlanta. If this game was in Atlanta, I'd take Atlanta in the 10.5. Uh, I don't know about giving up 10.5, but man, to me, that's a lot of points. They're minus 590 on the money line. Falcons are plus 440. So they got the Rams as huge favorites.
The Rams offense.
Yeah, the Rams offense did not look good against the Bills. But it was at the Bills defense or over unders at 46.5. I'd be inclined maybe to go with the over there. But other than that, 10.5 to me, that's just too many points to give up. Seattle at the 49ers, and this kind of surprises me. Seattle comes off a win. 49ers lose their first game, and they have the 49ers as 9.5-point favorites over the Seattle Seahawks. 49ers are minus 450 on the money line. Seahawks are plus 350.
I think I take Seattle.
At 9.5, yeah, at 9.5, I like Seattle.
San Francisco.
Over unders at 41.5. I like Seattle in the 9.5 points. If you're going to give me 9.5, I'd definitely take Seattle after the performance Seattle put on. Not that they were great, but hey, Geno Smith didn't make no huge mistakes. Defense was able to shut down Denver for the most part. And remember, everybody thought Denver was going to be a Super Bowl contender this year after they got Russell Wilson. So the 49ers did not look good. I mean, I understand there was bad weather, but the other team had to play in that bad weather too.
Yep.
And that Lance didn't look. Try not to judge him too bad because of the bad weather, but he didn't look real good in his first start. And they're just going to get, and if it keeps playing like that, 49ers are going to get in a tough spot since they still have Garoppolo on the roster. I think they really need to get Garoppolo off that roster. Because until then, I think the rookies kind of always look. I think the rookie's always kind of looking over his shoulder.
Yeah, but the only thing if they really believe that they have a team that can go somewhere in the playoffs, you get off to a 1-3 or 0 start.
No, I think they should be starting Garoppolo now.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't know that you get rid of him right now if you really think you. I don't understand why they're starting Lance anyway, but I mean.
Yeah, but I'm saying, yeah, no, I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, as long as he's there, Lance is kind of looking over his shoulder because he hears the fans and everybody talking. If I make a mistake, you know what I mean?
I think that tells you right there. I don't think they're completely committed to Lance.
I think they are. I don't think they can find a trade for Garoppolo that they like.
So
because of his shoulder.
If they go on forward, do they not play Garoppolo?
I think you should, but I don't know if they will. The way they're talking, I think they end up will because if they don't, it could cost it could cost the coach and the GM their jobs. It blows up in your face.
You go on 6 and blows up in your face, and you had a guy that took you to the Super Bowl 2 or 3 years ago.
Almost got you there last year.
Yeah, I mean,
and did you start out 0-3? What about the players in the locker room? They're going to start like Marcus Spears, Swag you was saying on ESPN this morning. The players are going to start knocking on that coach's door, wanting to talk and say, hey, we have this guy sitting over there on the bench that took us to a suit. We win when he plays.
Yes.
Whether you can complain, you can say, yeah, he can't do this, he doesn't do this. Yeah. Whatever you want to say about Jimmy G, he's a winner. And if you look at San Francisco's record when he plays and when he don't play, it's a big difference. You know, so if Lance keeps struggling, I could see some of these older players going in and saying, hey.
I think if Seattle wouldn't have been in the division, he'd be on Seattle's team right now. If he wouldn't been in San Francisco,
yeah, I agree.
If he'd been in the AFC or somewhere else, I think Garoppolo would be on that team right
now. No, I agree with you. I think he would too. But no, I like Seattle, and I like Seattle at the plus 9.5. I think that's way too many points to be given the Seahawks. Then you have the Bengals and the Cowboys. Bengals did not get off to a good start of the season. Joe Burrow had 5 turnovers, 4 interceptions, and a fumble. But he got sacked 7 times. They got to figure out something on that offensive line.
I thought they went out and got some people.
They supposedly did. Yeah, they did. But people didn't work. At least that game. You can't expect Burrow to keep winning games when he's getting sacked 7 or 8 times a game. No. Your body's not going to hold up for one.
Yeah, he ain't going to be there.
But Bengals are 7.5-point favorites. Yeah, Keenan Allen's out.
That could hurt a little bit.
It said there was no major damage. He's having a hamstring issue. So, but man, hamstrings are tricky. They could keep you out for a while.
Yep.
Bengals are 7.5-point favorites, minus 335 on the money line. Cowboys are plus 270. Over under for this game is at 42.5. I like the Bengals in this game. I'd like it to go down to 7. If it go down to 7, I'd definitely take the Bengals. I really don't like the 7.5 because you can, at least with that 7, if they only win by a touchdown, you get that push.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't Cowboys, they didn't look real their offense looked bad last week no matter who the quarterback was. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't say, "Oh, the Cowboys lost because Prescott got hurt." Prescott wasn't doing nothing when he got hurt.
I'm honestly surprised that it's not higher, Chris, because I know Dallas's defense played well, and I think they'll play well, but you're going to get wore out if your offense ain't doing anything. Their offense couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And Cincinnati's defense, I'm not saying as good as Tampa Bay's, but their defense, at least last year, was good at getting turnovers.
One reason I
So-
don't think it's more than 7.5 is just because it's at Dallas.
That's going to happen. I'm not.
I think if this game was in Cincinnati, it'd be closer to like 9.5, maybe 10. I think since it's in Dallas, that's why they got it at only 7.5.
Do you think if they would have come back and said Dak was going to be out more than 8 weeks, they would have went after Garoppolo?
They might have. They might have went after either him,
Or Huntley or somebody.
yeah, somebody. I'd have went after Jimmy G before Huntley.
Oh,
I understand Huntley didn't play bad last year with Ravens, but I've seen triple G. I've seen Jimmy G. Damn, I'm thinking about boxing this weekend. But I've seen Jimmy G be in the playoffs and win and lead.
I think Jimmy G would be more fit for that system. You could get that system. Huntley's in a different, completely kind of system.
Yeah, I like the Bengals there. Like I said, I'd like to get it at 7, but instead of 7.5. So I'd wait a little bit closer to the game time and see if that goes down.
Yeah.
It might go up a little bit, but I would a 7. I'd rather get it at 7. Then you have the Texans at the Broncos. Broncos laid an egg on their opening night. Texans didn't lose. Didn't lose, but they didn't win either. They tied with the Colts, which
Hey, this is the best
crazy game.
This is the best start the Colts have had in
Yeah,
9 years.
no, we haven't won an opening game forever.
2013. So I mean, for 9 years, hey man, we're ahead of the game.
I still can't believe they tied. You have the Texans the Broncos are 9.5-point favorites over the Texans. To me, that's too many points after the way I saw the Broncos play on Monday night. Man, I think 9.5 is a lot of points. Broncos are minus 480 on the money line. The Texans are plus 370 on the money line. Over-unders at 45.5.
Where's the game at?
Game's in Denver.
That worries me a little bit.
At 9.5 points is what Denver's favored.
Texans didn't run the football real great against us.
Yeah.
The tight end killed us a lot. Cooks is a good receiver.
Broncos defense didn't look great last night or Monday night either.
No, it didn't look great, but
That's a tough one.
well, yeah, because yeah, that's true.
That's a tough one. I kind of lean towards Houston and the points at 9.5.
Yeah,
because
kind of do too.
I think the Broncos might win the game, but I don't know if they're going to get them by 9.5.
I think if you're going,
Oh no, Jimmy G's better than Cooper Rush.
Huh?
Yeah, he said Jimmy G's nothing different from Rush. They're both the same QB in my opinion.
what has Cooper Rush done?
Yeah, no,
Jimmy G's been to the
Yeah,
Super Bowl. What's Cooper Rush done?
Jimmy G's won games as a starter. Damien says Broncos losing by 7. I mean, I can see the Broncos losing that game. But I can see them winning the 2. But I like the Texans at the 9.5 points. I just think 9.5 is too many. Next game is going to be interesting. Arizona Cardinals at the Las Vegas Raiders. Cardinals did not look good against the Chiefs at all. I think they're really going to miss Hopkins for the first 6 games. The Raiders are 4.5-point favorites, minus 225 on the money line. Raiders didn't play very good in the first half. Was able to get back in the game, but Derek Carr has to play better. He didn't have a real great game that game. Over-unders at 51.5. I think I like the Raiders here in this game at the minus 4.5.
Mm-hmm. Tell you what, Chris, I think we should go play over the book and put down Seattle and the Texans together in a parlay. Both of them money line.
Yeah, they both very easily could win too. Yeah. Do you like the Raiders? Or the Cardinals?
Yeah, Cardinals didn't look good at all. Raiders, uh, Raiders didn't look great, but I don't think the Cardinals have anybody that's going to stop Devontae Adams. I think Carr will play better. Yeah, I take the Raiders all day long. Cardinals didn't look good.
Oh, and I mean, well, like my son, he's a big Cardinals fan. I was telling him,
I'll,
when you're
I'll,
missing Hopkins,
I'll make a prediction. Cardinals have a terrible season, and that coach is gone.
well, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
That's my prediction.
I was surprised that Murray re-signed a contract. I still think Murray's going to end up going to play baseball. Then you have the Bears at the Packers. Packers are 9.5 point favorites at home, minus 460 on the money line. Bears are plus 360. Over under is 42.5. I think the Packers win this game. 9.5 points, man.
It's hard. It's hard because the conditions were so bad. How good is the Bears defense? Now, if the Bears defense is really that good, I mean, I think they've got a shot. But, especially if they can stop Green Bay's run, because Green Bay's going to come out trying to pound the ball first.
Yeah.
If they can shut down the run, I don't know that they got the receivers to do anything. So I don't know. 9.5 points.
I like the Packers to win, but 9.5 is just too many points for me. I can see this being a closer game just because I don't know where. I have to see these young receivers for the Packers make some plays. Until then, I don't know where the points are going to come from. Besides Aaron Jones, I mean, Dillon was their backup running back. Dillon was their leading receiver.
Minnesota wasn't a great defense last year. They shut Green Bay down.
And
Comparative, I would say the Bears defense was better than Minnesota's defense last year.
oh yeah, last year they were, yeah.
So, of course, I mean, I know it's a different year, but
Cardinals tanking for Bryce. I don't know if they would be tanking for another quarterback, but it might be if they think. Well, I don't think they're doing that because they just re-signed Murray.
they signed him. I think they're going to be another coach there.
Oh yeah, I think there could definitely be another coach coming soon. Then you have the Titans at the Bills. Bills are 9.5 point favorites at home. Man, a lot of 9.5 point favorites. They're minus 460 on the money line. The Titans are plus 360 on the money line. Over under for this game is 48.5. I like the Bills to win this game.
I like the Bills. The key is Tennessee if they can run the football.
9.5 points.
Yeah, I don't like the 9.5 points. I think I would take the point.
Yeah, especially if it goes up to 10. If it goes up to 10, I'd definitely take it because then if a field goal on a touchdown, I still get a push.
Hey, if Henry can run the ball, that keeps Buffalo off the field. That changes the game.
The Buffalo defense looked awful good against the Rams that opening game, but how good are the Rams?
The Rams ain't got a running back like Henry either.
Yeah, that's true. And then the last game, and the spread on this surprises the hell out of me. I think people are too hyped on the Eagles. Eagles are 1.5 point favorites, minus 132 on the money line versus the Minnesota Vikings, who looked tougher than hell last week. They're underdogs on the road against the Eagles at plus 112. I would say they're giving being minus 1.5. They're making the Eagles favorites because they're at home. But I think the Vikings are a better team than the Eagles. Were enough where the Eagles shouldn't be favored at home.
I'm not sold on Philadelphia's defense to be able to shut down Cousins, Jefferson, and the running back. So I think I would take Minnesota. I mean, don't get me wrong.
I like Minnesota in this game.
I could be completely wrong. Philadelphia may end up being one of the surprise teams of the year, but I'm not sold yet.
Yeah.
After one game.
Yeah, I like Minnesota in this game. Like I said,
who was it Philadelphia beat last week?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
I can't remember.
And
it was a close game. Yeah. Was it Detroit?
I think it was Detroit.
Okay, let's look at.
Let's look at my.
I'm pretty sure it was Detroit. Let's look at who Minnesota beat, and look who Philadelphia played. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't mean Philadelphia may go in there and they may handle Minnesota and improve their stuff. But yeah, right now, I take Minnesota all day long.
Yeah, Philadelphia beat Detroit 38-35.
heck of a game. I mean, they give up 35 points to Detroit. What are they going to give up to
Yeah, that's what I'm
Minnesota? A
saying.
lot better offense.
That's what I'm saying. I think Minnesota should be favored in the game, but I like Minnesota here as
I
a
would
road underdog.
Maybe we should go play that money line. Take Minnesota and another two teams we talk about and see if we
Yeah,
can get a little money.
I don't know. I think that was the last game. There it is. Yeah, that was the last game. Like I said, we'll give out our official picks on the Friday show. Tomorrow we'll give out the pick for the Thursday night game. I'm leaning toward the Chargers as of now, unless I'm kind of Keenan Allen not playing is worried me a little bit. So I'm gonna make sure there's no any other injuries or anything going on.
Yep.
But before we get out here, I will give you guys my baseball picks. We kind of went through the games earlier. I like the Mariners on the money line tonight, Tampa Bay Rays on the money line tonight, Yankees on the money line, and the St. Louis Cardinals on the money line. They're all a couple of them are actually underdogs. The other ones are because I was surprised that one of them was an underdog, but they're all real short favorites anyway. Get good value on them. But I like to pick the pitchers they have on the mound. I'll be honest, that's why I went with about all these teams. Mariners have Castillo on the mound tonight. He's been solid all season. Rays have Rasmussen on the mound. He's been solid all season. Yankees with Cortez. He's been outstanding all season as well. And then with Wainwright, he's usually always solid for the Cardinals. And I like the way Cardinals have been playing. So that's the 4 picks I have tonight for baseball. Don't forget we're live Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern, live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch at Gonzo Sports Room, and also live on the All Sports All Plays Network as well on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitch. Join us tonight, 11 p.m. Eastern, for Gonzo and the Judge Sports Talk. Me and myself and the sports judge, Jonathan Mathis, talking the top stories in sports tonight. Sure, we'll be talking about tomorrow's NFL game. He lives out there in LA, so he's a Rams fan. But if the Rams lose again, I can see him jumping over to Chargers fan.
Yeah,
I'm gonna ask him about that tonight. Eagles by 20. I don't trust Cousins, especially in prime time. If the Eagles do win, I don't see it being by 20. But you never know. I think people hate on Cousins for no reason. Dude's a better quarterback than I think people give him credit for. That's just my opinion.
and you got to remember, got a different coach that is more
Offensive-minded coach,
not a defensive coach. And the thing that killed me about that is that Minnesota's defense really started to struggle under him, and he was supposed to be and I like that coach. I mean, when it came to Minnesota, I really like that pick. So sometimes it don't work out.
Oh, no. Sometimes it doesn't work out. All right. Join us tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern, for our baseball show, Around the Bases. We'll be talking about Judge if he's going to break the record. We'll get Dustin's opinion on who's the home run king, Maris or Bonds, and a lot more stuff on there. Also, tomorrow's Thursday. Basically, that's all the shows. Unscripted. Check out Unscripted, 7 p.m. Eastern. I'll be on there with Jay McLovin and Logan.
Back on at 3.
Then tomorrow at 3 with Easy Money again. But I want to thank everybody for joining us. We appreciate everybody watching. Hopefully, some of these baseball picks do good tonight. And we'll give our NFL pick tomorrow, along with some more of the baseball games going on. NBA will be starting soon, so we're starting to get a lot busier, be covering more sports to cover. So, hey, if you like what we're doing, please hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. Please leave a review on our Facebook page. Hit that like button. We'd appreciate it. Have a great Hope everybody has a great day. Stay safe, and we'll see you guys tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making a plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.